What if blight isn't simply a social problem? What if blight has become part of a system that generates money, influence, and opportunity for people far removed from the communities most affected by it? When we see abandoned buildings, vacant lots, struggling schools, unemployment, crime, and poverty, we're often told these conditions are the result of poor choices made by residents. But what if we're looking at the end of the story instead of the beginning? What if these conditions are not merely the cause of community decline, but the result of decades of policy decisions, investment decisions, and institutional priorities? Let's follow a pattern that has repeated itself in cities across America. A neighborhood experiences years, sometimes decades, of disinvestment. Businesses leave, infrastructure deteriorates, property values decline, jobs disappear, public and private investment dries up. Over time, the neighborhood becomes known as blighted, distressed, or economically challenged. Then, something changes. The very conditions created by years of neglect become the justification for government intervention. New grant programs appear, new redevelopment initiatives appear, new anti-violence programs appear. Special economic incentives are created, tax credits are approved, redevelopment districts are established, millions of dollars begin flowing into communities that had previously been overlooked. On the surface, this appears to be a solution. But a deeper question remains. Who actually benefits from this investment? How much reaches residents directly? How much is spent on administration? How much goes to consultants? How much goes to service providers? How much goes to developers? How much goes to organizations headquartered outside the affected community? And how much stays within a network of institutions that have become experts at securing public funding? These are questions worth asking. Because in many cases, poverty itself has become an industry. Organizations receive grants to address community problems. Consultants receive contracts to administer programs. Developers receive incentives to build projects. Professional service firms receive fees. Researchers receive funding to study the conditions. Government agencies receive additional resources to manage the programs. Entire ecosystems emerge around solving problems that never seem to disappear. Then comes redevelopment. After years of decline, neighborhoods become attractive again. Land is inexpensive. Government incentives reduce risk. Public subsidies become available. Financing tools become available. Development becomes profitable. New projects are announced. Public resources are committed. Property values increase. Private wealth is created. Yet many longtime residents find themselves asking a simple question. If all this money has been flowing into the community for years, why do the original problems still exist? To be clear, this series is not about claiming that every nonprofit is corrupt. Instead, it is about examining systems. It is about understanding incentives. It is about asking whether some institutions benefit more from managing poverty than from eliminating it. And it is about exploring whether neighborhood decline sometimes creates opportunities for others while creating hardships for residents. In this series, we'll examine how redlining shaped modern communities, how urban renewal transformed neighborhoods and displaced residents, how public funding moves through nonprofit organizations, and why some scholars describe these relationships as part of a larger nonprofit industrial complex. Most importantly, we'll ask a question that is rarely discussed. Are struggling communities failing because they lack resources? Or are they struggling because the systems surrounding them are designed to benefit from the conditions that keep those resources out of reach? This is the business of blight. And this is only the beginning.